You're driving home, minding your own business, and someone cuts you off so badly you nearly end up in a ditch. Your dashcam catches every second of it. Feeling justified, you post the clip online that night, tag the bad driving, blur nothing, and go to bed thinking you've done a public service. A week later, you get a letter. Someone's reported you to the Information Commissioner's office. Suddenly, you're not the hero of the story anymore. You're the one explaining yourself. And the wild part is, this happens to ordinary drivers in the UK more than you'd think, and almost none of them saw it coming. If you own a dashcam, or you're thinking about getting one in 2026, this video is going to save you from making the exact mistake that turned this driver's good intentions into a legal headache. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly what you can and can't do with your footage, and the small habits that keep you safe, legal, and out of trouble. Let's start with the good news. Dashcams are completely legal in the UK. You don't need a license, a permit, or anyone's permission to fit one in your car and start recording the road in front of you, behind you, or both. There's no law against filming while you drive. Whether you're on a public road or on private land you're entitled to be on. Insurers love them too, because clear footage means faster claims and fewer arguments about who actually caused a crash. Some insurers will even knock a bit off your premium just for having one fitted. So if you're worried that owning a dashcam itself puts you on the wrong side of the law, you can relax. The trouble doesn't usually start with owning the camera. It starts with where you put it, what you record, and what you do with the footage afterwards. Let's talk placement first, because this is the one rule that catches out far more drivers than any privacy issue ever will. Under UK regulations, you have to keep a clear view of the road at all times, which means your dashcam can't block your line of sight. The general guidance is that it shouldn't intrude more than 40 millimeters into the area your wipers sweep across the windscreen. Most drivers mount the camera behind the rear view mirror or tucked low on the passenger side, which keeps it well within that limit and out of the way. It sounds like a small technical detail, but get it wrong and you could be pulled over for an obstructed view. And, in a worst-case scenario, footage from a badly mounted camera might even be challenged in court because the device itself was breaking the rules. So mount it properly, keep the cables tidy, and don't let it anywhere near your airbag zone. Now here's where it gets interesting, because this is the part most drivers genuinely don't know. The moment your dashcam captures another person's face, their number plate, or anything that could identify them, that footage becomes their personal data under UK data protection law. Not yours. Theirs. That single fact is the foundation of almost every privacy rule that follows, so keep it in mind for the rest of this video. If you're a private driver just using your dashcam for your own peace of mind, to protect yourself in case of an accident or to feel safer on the road, you sit in a much lighter category. The law recognizes that recording for purely personal reasons is different from recording as part of a business. So if your footage just sits on a memory card, gets overwritten every few weeks through loop recording, and you never do anything with it beyond maybe handing a clip to your insurer after a bump, you're in pretty safe territory. The trouble starts the second you take that footage public. Here's mistake number one, and it's the big one. Posting dashcam footage online, especially on social media, the moment it shows someone's face or number plate clearly, you've stepped out of personal use and into being what's legally called a data controller. That sounds dramatic, but in plain English it means you're now responsible for that person's data the way a business would be. If they complain to the Information Commissioner's office, you have to justify why you shared it, and if you can't, you could be looking at a fine or even a civil claim against you. The fix is genuinely simple though. If a clip needs to go public, blur the faces and the plates first. There are free tools that do this in a couple of minutes, and the story still gets told without dragging an identifiable stranger into it. And here's a question worth asking yourself before you hit upload. Why are you actually posting it? If it's to raise awareness about dangerous driving in general, fine. But if it's really just to embarrass the other driver, to get views off their humiliation, that's exactly the kind of use that data protection law and even harassment law start to frown on. If someone drove dangerously and you want something done about it, the police are the right destination, not your followers. Most UK forces now run an online portal, often called the National Dash Cam Safety Portal or Operation Snap, where you can submit unedited footage directly. That footage actually leads to real consequences, warnings, awareness courses, fines, sometimes prosecutions, and tens of thousands of submissions go through these portals every year. Posting it online for likes does nothing for road safety and exposes you to risk you don't need. Mistake number 2 is all about audio. A lot of drivers don't even realize their dash cam is recording sound inside the cabin, not just the view outside. Audio is treated as far more sensitive than video under data protection law because it captures actual conversations, sometimes deeply personal ones. If you've got a passenger in the car who isn't part of your household, good practice says you should let them know audio is being recorded. This matters enormously if you drive for a living. Taxi drivers, private hire drivers, driving instructors, anyone carrying paying passengers needs to be upfront about it, often with a visible sign in the vehicle, because passengers reasonably expect some privacy, and they have a right to know they're being recorded. The easiest fix most drivers go for, honestly, is just switching audio off entirely. Almost every modern dash cam lets you do this with one tap in the settings, and you lose nothing important for 99% of journeys. Mistake number 3 is for anyone using a dash cam for work, whether that's a small delivery business, a fleet of vans, a taxi firm, or even just you using your own car for paid driving jobs. The moment dashcam use becomes part of running a business, you're expected to register with the Information Commissioner's Office and pay a small annual data protection fee, which for most small operations sits around £50 a year. You need a clear, written reason for why you're recording, a privacy notice telling people how their footage might be used, and a habit of deleting routine footage within a reasonably short window, rather than hoarding months of recordings you don't need. If someone whose face or plate appears in your footage asks for a copy of what you hold on them, you're legally required to respond within a month. Skip these steps, and you're not just risking a slap on the wrist. Penalties for serious data protection breaches can run into the millions for businesses that get this badly wrong, although in practice, the regulator tends to come down hardest on companies that ignore the rules entirely, rather than individuals making honest mistakes. Mistake number 4 is one almost nobody thinks about until it bites them, and that's parking mode. A lot of newer dash cams keep recording even when your car is parked and the engine's off, sitting quietly until motion or an impact triggers a clip. This is genuinely useful for catching hit-and-run damage, and it's perfectly legal since you're filming from your own vehicle just like a doorbell camera films the street outside someone's house. But if your parking spot happens to point your camera straight at a neighbor's front door or window for hours on end, day after day, you've drifted into territory that looks a lot like running residential CCTV on someone else's life, which comes with its own stricter expectations. The fix costs you nothing. Just angle the camera so it's capturing the road and your own car, not somebody's living room window. So let's pull this all together into the habits that will actually keep you safe in 2026. Mount your camera properly so it never blocks your view. Treat any footage showing someone's face or plate as their personal data, not yours to do whatever you want with. Never post identifiable footage online without blurring faces and plates first, and ask yourself honestly whether you're sharing it to help or just to humiliate. If you've genuinely witnessed dangerous driving, send it to the police through the proper channel instead of your feed. Turn audio off unless you've got a real reason to need it, and tell any non-household passenger if it's on. If you're using a dash cam for work in any capacity, register with the Information Commissioner's Office, keep a privacy notice, and don't sit on footage longer than you need to. And if you run parking mode, make sure you're filming the street, not your neighbor's front door. None of this is complicated once you know it, but almost no driver gets taught any of it before they fit their first camera, which is exactly why so many good, well-meaning people end up in situations they never saw coming. A dashcam should protect you, not create a brand new problem you didn't have before. If this saved you from a mistake you didn't even know you were about to make, that's exactly why I make these videos. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss the next one. Drop a like if this was useful, and let me know in the comments if there's a dashcam question you want answered next. Subscribe to my channel, I've got a lot more like this coming, and I'll see you in the next video.